Once upon a time, in a forest far away, a dragon named Blaze lived in a cave, they say. He was curious and brave, but also quite shy, and longed to explore, to spread his wings and fly. Each day he'd peer out of his cave and wonder what lay beyond the forest, what was yonder. He dreamt of adventures and lands afar, but fear held him back like a binding bar. Blaze wished he could be fearless like the sun and venture forth his journey just begun. But the forest animals, so strange and new, made Blaze tremble, unsure of what to do. So he stayed in his cave, with his heart heavy, wishing he could be brave and daring like a levy. But little did he know that one fine day his wish for adventure would come his way. One sunny day, Blaze was feeling quite bold, and decided to venture out to be less cold. He spread his wings and soared through the sky to see what he could find, to give it a try. As he flew over the forest, he saw below a group of animals all in a row. They were having a picnic with food galore, and Blaze's curiosity was piqued even more. He landed gently, trying not to be seen, but the animals noticed and began to keen. They were afraid of this dragon so big and bold, but Blaze spoke gently, his voice like gold. "I'm Blaze, a dragon who longs to explore. I mean no harm, I just want to see more." The animals were surprised, but also intrigued, and they welcomed Blaze to their picnic indeed. Blaze joined in the fun and ate with delight, and soon he was chatting with all his might. The animals were kind and friendly, he could see, and Blaze felt happy to be a part of this glee. As the sun began to set, Blaze said goodbye, but not before promising to come by. He had made some new friends and felt at ease, and knew that this was the start of his adventure, please. Blaze was overjoyed. He had made some friends, and he knew that this was just the start of his amends. He visited the forest animals day after day, sharing stories and laughs in his own special way. The rabbits, squirrels, and deer all loved Blaze, and they followed him through the forest maze. Blaze felt happy and free like he had never felt. He had found his place in the world, and it made him melt. The animals taught Blaze how to play and run, and Blaze showed them how to have some fun. He breathed fire, and they would sing and dance. Together they were like an unbreakable stance. Blaze's shyness faded away with each passing day, and he learned that friendship was the only way. To overcome fear and anxiety, he found was to open his heart and let love surround. Blaze was no longer just a curious dragon. He was a friend, a companion, and a true champion. And as he looked back on his life so far, he knew that his adventure had just begun, by far. One day, while playing in the forest glade, Blaze and his friends heard a sound, quite afraid. It was a loud roar, like nothing they'd heard, and they knew something was wrong. That was the word. They followed the sound to a clearing nearby, and there they saw a sight that made them sigh. A wicked sorcerer with an evil grin was casting a spell to take over and win. Blaze and his friends knew they had to act fast to save the forest from this dangerous blast. They huddled together to make a plan to defeat the sorcerer and his evil clan. Blaze would breathe fire to create a diversion, while the animals would sneak with great determination. They would pounce on the sorcerer and stop his spell, and save the forest from the darkening hell. The plan was set, and they charged with great might. The sorcerer was shocked at the sight. Blaze breathed fire, and the animals did attack, and together they defeated the sorcerer and his wicked pack. The forest was saved, and Blaze was a hero, his bravery and courage like a shining glow. He had proven that friendship was the key to conquering fears and being truly free. As they all celebrated with joy and glee, Blaze knew that his adventure was meant to be, for he had found his purpose, his place to belong, and his heart was filled with a love so strong. After the battle, Blaze and his friends explored the forest from end to end. They discovered hidden streams and secret trails, and found the beauty in every detail. Blaze felt free to explore as he pleased, and his friends were with him to make it ease. They climbed tall trees and swam in the lakes, and they danced in the field until the earth quakes. Blaze felt grateful for the friendships he made, and he knew they'd last until the end of his days. He learned that adventure was not just about thrill, but also about friendship and the joy it instilled. The forest was full of wonders and surprises, and Blaze and his friends were always on the rise. They discovered new things and learned so much more, and they knew that the forest was theirs to explore. As they watched the sun set on the horizon, Blaze and his friends knew their adventure had risen, for they had found joy in the simple things, and that was the beauty that friendship brings. Blaze and his friends continued on their way through the forest where they loved to play, but Blaze knew that there was something he feared, something that he needed to face and to be cleared. They came to a cave, deep and dark, and Blaze felt his fear leave a mark, for it was in this cave where he had been hurt, and the memory of it still made him feel like dirt. But Blaze knew that he couldn't let fear win, so he took a deep breath and went right in. He walked through the cave step by step, and soon his fear began to ebb. As he walked, he realized something true, that his fear was something he could get through. He had friends by his side who loved him for who he was, and he knew that they would never let him fall into the abyss. Blaze emerged from the cave, feeling brave and strong, and he knew that he had faced his fear all along. For he had learned that sometimes the bravest thing to do was to face your fear and push on through. With his newfound courage, Blaze felt alive, and he knew that his adventure would always thrive. For he had overcome his fear, and he knew that he could face anything that came his way and be understood. Blaze and his friends continued on their way through the forest where they loved to play. But now Blaze felt different. He felt renewed, for he had faced his fear, and it no longer subdued. As the days passed by, Blaze felt a call to return to his cave, where he was small. He knew he had to face his fears once more, and he was ready to open that door. He said goodbye to his forest friends, and promised to visit when his journey ends. He flew to his cave with a heart so strong, and he knew that he was where he belonged. He took a deep breath and entered the cave, and he saw his reflection in the dragon's enclave. He looked at himself and saw a different sight, for he was no longer just a dragon in fright. He had conquered his fears and faced his past, and he knew that his adventure would forever last. For he had learned the power of love and friendship, and he knew that nothing could ever strip. Blaze felt proud of the dragon he had become, and he knew that his adventure had only just begun, for he had found his purpose in the world so fast, and he knew that his heart would forever last. As he looked up at the starry sky above, Blaze knew that his adventure was fueled by love, and he felt grateful for the journey he had been on, for it had led him to the place where he belonged. With a new sense of purpose, Blaze emerged from his cave, ready to embark on a new chapter of his adventure brave. He spread his wings and took to the sky. With the wind in his face, he felt alive. Blaze flew over the mountains and across the sea. He explored new lands and met creatures wild and free. He made new friends and had many new experiences, and he found joy in every single one of them. He discovered new passions and learned new skills, and he knew that his adventure was full of thrills. He saw new sights and heard new sounds, and he knew that his adventure would forever astound. Blaze knew that his adventure would never end, for there was always more to see and more to comprehend. But he also knew that no matter where he went, his heart would always be filled with love and content. As Blaze looked up at the sky so blue, he knew that his adventure was far from through, for there was always more to discover and explore, and he knew that he was ready to take on more. Blaze spread his wings and flew towards the sun, with his heart full of courage, and his adventure just begun. And as he soared higher, he knew that his destiny was to be an adventurer, forever free.